Hey guys, and welcome to my Let's Say video tutorial, and I'm assuming that all of you just love to play video games, correct? Anyway, what if I tell you that you can easily make a lot of money just by being patient? And I know it sounds pretty unbelievable, right? Anyway, you will need a lot more than that, and first of all, everyone can join in trading, but it requires simply a lot more to be successful in it. And now I've been trading for a while now, it's been a few years actually, and believe it or not, but I'm extremely thankful for the time I spent on here, mainly because I was forced to make really hard decisions under really big pressure, I guess, and I learned many new manners, how to speak with strangers, for example, which I'm extremely thankful for, how to manipulate people, for example, and the list can go on for a few more minutes. You know, first of all, let me know that I have never scammed anyone, nor I lied to anyone regarding to trading. And take it like this, being a scammer is not cool, and I kind of prefer being clean, kind and overall respectful, and which is extremely important if you want to build up a good name in the community, and as a reward, I guess, more people will desire to trade with you. I think that's pretty fair, no matter which angle you're looking from at it. So probably the most frequently asked question is, if I were to invest my own money into trading, how much should it be? Well, generally speaking, it can be any amount, and in the same time, keep in mind that I've traded up from absolutely worthless item to about 12 grand, so never say never, I guess. But yeah, this takes a lot more than just the patience, and at the end, I wouldn't really recommend you doing that. Nowadays, I usually recommend to people to buy a cheap knife and start from there. I mean, at the end, you can always cash out more than you came in with, unless you are really fucking dumb. And obviously in this video I will try to give you brief tips how to not lose your shit, so listen closely. Maybe even watch this video twice or more times so you can fully understand the concept of trading. Well, first of all of you probably realize this already, but if not, the point of trading is to sell something for more than you bought it for. So in theory, it is really easy. First thing you really need to know is how to price check any item fast and correctly. Well, if you are pricing cheap items which are generally under 100 keys, I would simply use the site called Steam Analyst. But yeah, if you deal with bigger items, generally speaking, items above 100 keys, I personally would use a site called Reddit, maybe use some subreddits such as the CSGO trade and so on, but I will probably cover this in my other video in future. But since you search for a trading guide, I'm assuming you need basics, so we'll stick with basics and cheaper items. So all you have to do is go to steamanalyst.com and type the item name in there. So for example, I'm looking to buy a huntsman knife, let's say urban mask, and in a factory new condition, so just type in huntsman urban and select the adequate wearer. Now, as you can see, it is worth 53 keys on average. Also, you have to realize that people generally buy any item for at least 85% of the Steam Analyst price. And to calculate how much it really is, just type in the value of the item, and in this case our huntsman is 53 keys. So times it by 0.85, which will give us the amount any CSGO trader will pay you instantly. Now, in this case, it will equal to 45, so in a theory, if we manage to find a seller willing to go down by any less than 53 keys, we have a nice chance to make profit. But in real life, most of these knives never sell for full price. Now, you need to keep this in mind before buying, so keep as much open space as possible. Make sure you are not buying for too much, make sure you are not lowballing less than 85%, because else the people will be mad at you. So I would say 85% is a pretty fair amount for both sides, so be patient and try to make as much profit as possible. Also, I really wanted to mention something, so there's nothing wrong at being greedy. Don't be scared to offer and don't be scared to ask people. Now, most of my biggest trades come from me asking around strangers if they maybe had an interest in this and that, you know how it goes. And throughout all these years, I've also noticed that people really hate when they have to wait. Now, in reality, most of the traders are really impatient when it comes to trading, and they will lose their patience at some point of the time, and that's exactly the moment we are waiting for. Also, the next tip I would give you is that you really want to achieve something while trading. You want to have an absolute control over the trade. So what it basically means is that you never want the other guy to outsmart your ass. Now, when trading, you need to be fast as fuck, and you don't want to take time to price check your items for too long because you might miss a good deal. And in the same time, you don't want to rush things too much to make a mistake, because you will end up crying after losing like 10 keys by mistake. So think it like this, every minute or maybe even second might be crucial to your profit. So yeah, think fast and don't fuck it up. And I shouldn't probably tell you this, but whatever. I've been doing this for the past few months now, and in short, try to push the seller into the trade and try to be at least 1 or 2 steps ahead of him. Also try to keep him busy responding to your messages and try to use this into your advantage. Now, and please don't be annoying, you never want to achieve that, you never want to achieve to piss him off before you actually make a trade. So obviously you never want to start argument with him, so sometimes I tend to ask the seller useless questions like, for example, may I ask what the float value of your item is, and for example, may I ask what the pattern is, and obviously it takes him some time to answer. And meanwhile, I already know every single shit about him and his items, so I sometimes use this into my advantage, which is really helpful. And to be honest, I could give you tips like this for a few more hours. I mean, you can think these ways to outsmart people yourself. I mean, these tips will come in a matter of time. You make more trades, you gain experiences, and you will gain idea of trading in general. You really want to convince him, quote unquote, that they are doing a really good deal, when in reality they're doing a really fucking bad deal on their side. Now, don't take me wrong, I'm not saying that you should lie to them or any other nonsense, just now, I mean, it's really hard to explain. I guess it really depends on the person we're dealing with. Now, the easy thing about CSGO trading is that you can basically take any item which has considerably good look, and you can possibly convince the buyer that you have really insane item and you are only selling it for market price, where you could easily gain more by reselling to a collector. You know, you want to sell it fast to him for a market price. So I guess this is a really good thing about CSGO, that you can sometimes convince the buyer that you have a pretty good item and you can sell it still for the market price, when in fact items like this get sold for way lower than market price. Also, things like this, like float value, placement of stickers, for example, various different patterns make an enormous price difference when dealing with items. And of course, you can't just make these rules up in your mind. And now you need to think about it like this. Your opinion is pretty much irrelevant in trading community. You need to have it price checked either by CSGO Reddit, or just simply don't ask overpay for it. Lastly, please be legit, and this pretty much goes with the point I just explained to you right now. You can make a shitload of money just by scamming. I wouldn't ever lie about that. But I mean, at the end you will get banned and never ever have a chance to trade these items away. Nobody wants to deal with a scammer. I mean, just simply don't do it. And also there is one more thing I would like to mention. I have literally no idea how this works, but I've encountered several people, even up to this day, who still do it, and to be honest, it gives absolute no sense to me at all. So when I had, for example, a gut knife Scorch, that was my first knife, I think, and I never remember trading people who had insane inventories. Like, if I've seen someone had 50 knives in his inventory, I would never ever trade him, because it was more than obvious that they simply won't care about me and giving me a fair trade, and they will instead try to make as much profit on me as possible. So I rather traded with people who had equal or slightly bigger inventories, but realistically speaking, most of the people in this community are really dumb, and they probably won't even realize this. So right now, as I get more items, more people try to trade with me, and the more profit I get. So I really don't understand this. So if you see traders on sites like CSGO Lounge and you see people who have like 50 knives up for sale, you might want to skip them and you know, rather pick the other seller who is less experienced and has like only, you know, 1 or 2 knives. I mean, at the end it all gives sense. There is pretty much no taboo at trading. You will learn everything eventually, so don't worry if I gave you too many tips at once. Later you will hopefully understand what I'm talking about. Also, please don't be scared to risk sometimes. I see this many times, people are scared to do something, to take action. You always got to remember, if you do a bad trade, there are big odds you won't do the same thing again, you know. Every time you burn, you will eventually learn something and you get experiences and you won't do the same thing again. So it's good to risk sometimes. I mean, I burned myself many times, but eventually I learned when it's good to risk and when it's not. And I mean, you need to get a bit of taste of what the trading is. I mean, this won't come to your mind like a miracle. You need to have a good taste in what is good and what is bad. So yeah, obviously I made most of my profit by risking, as I already said. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to share it with your friends, make sure to subscribe, and also I launched a Steam group not long ago, so besides getting notifications after I release any video, I also give away a lot of stuff in there, so make sure to join that group. And yeah, that's basically it, I guess. So if you had any questions related to trading, related to this video ideas, to my future videos, feel free to suggest me anything. I read my comments often, and yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching everyone, and see you guys until the next one.